So I want to make my videos more relevant and stuff, and I know a lot of the other photographers are settling down to one type of film and one type of camera. I've never been like that. I mean, I started photography when I was 16 in 1983 and I had a Praktica, and I've still got a Praktica, and I just love using the different types of cameras and trying out different types of films. Now next week's video, I hope, I've got some Spur Ultra R800, which is a 50 ISO film, and I think they call it like a documentary film. In other words, it's actually designed to photograph things like documents and books and that sort of thing. I've done some tests. I've been, over the past few days, I've tested the development times. I didn't have a development time. I think I've got that now, and I'm just going out taking photographs with it. But I would love to have more subscribers and more people watch my videos and get involved with buying me a coffee and that sort of stuff. So, you know, I've got lots of ideas, but I don't know if that's the sort of thing you want to see. So if you put down in the comments below what you'd like me to do. Some of you have done, and I've done that, and it's really, really great. I've got a few plans for London. My work started back up, so I'll be heading into London over the next coming weeks, and I'll be able to go to different places I want to go and photograph with different types of film. So I'm really excited about that. Anyway, so let's take a look at some of the photographs that I took with this Provia F. Okay, so let's start looking at some of these photographs I took with the Provia. Now, you remember I was in London using the X300 camera and testing that. Well, I also had the Minolta with me as well, the other Minolta, the 7000i. So I had in that the Provia, and what I was doing was I was testing all the different lenses I had. So some of these have been shot in London and most of them shot in Bedford, but I was literally testing the different lenses, from the zoom lens, which is a 300mm, and then you've got the standard 50mm lens, you've got the standard zoom lens, the 35 to 28 to 70 zoom lens, and I've got a 24mm lens as well. So I was testing out those, and I was playing around in the studio as well. I wasn't expecting too much of that, so you can see them on the screen at the moment. So I'm going to take you through these photographs and just show you them and see what you think, and you'll see at the end exactly what is going on with this. Okay, so I think you've probably realized by now I've got a real passion for telephone boxes, and whenever I see telephone boxes I tend to take a picture of them, and that's why I took this shot. On the screen, the exposure looks about right. I think it might be slightly overexposed. Now remember, this is actually an expired film, but it had only been expired by 5 years. So I overexposed it by half a stop, and it clearly worked. They've come up really, really well. And I wanted to do, like I normally do, like a close-up of the pull handle for some bizarre reason, so I did this. And they're lovely. I don't know, they're just lovely. Absolutely lovely and sharp and clean. Vibrant colours, you know, just really, really pleased with this. I scanned these myself with my digital camera because I didn't want to pay for scanning at a lab and then the film not to come out. So that's why I did it myself. So these aren't lab scans, these are just basically DSLR scans. And don't know why on earth I took this photograph for. I don't have a clue. It kind of looked nice from across the road and just a little restaurant. So I took that. You know, is it a waste of a frame? You know what I'm like with wasting frames. And you see this in the other video when we're in London. I was taking this in black and white, viewing across with the X300, and I think it was the Rollei. I think I had the Rollei 400S film. I took that in black and white with. And again, this one is a color version, basically looking at Battersea Power Station like I did before. So it was basically the same shot with just a different camera and different lens. I think this was with the standard zoom lens I did this one with. You can probably tell by the sharpness. Yeah, so it's not brilliantly sharp. Look at the numbers there. I mean, that is enlarged quite a bit, but you can still read the number if you're a train spotter like me. And we went over to near the Barbican Smithfields Market, and I saw these posts. I just thought they looked really, really nice and colourful. And I tried to open the aperture as much as I could. It was getting quite dull lit, but you can see how busy and noisy the bokeh is on this. But the shot I still quite like the shot as well. I think it's quite nice. And again, it's clean and sharp, but this, as I say, these out of focus areas with these Minolta lenses, it just isn't really clean. So now we're back at home in Bedford, and I was testing out the zoom lens, and this is just one of a number of shots I took of this post. So you can zoom in, you can see, you know, the grain. What I find interesting about this is the grain is really fine on this film, which I really love. And there's a lot of dust and muck and stuff, and that's probably down to me rather than it coming out of the lab like that. I don't think it came out of the lab. I think it was me when I was handling them to get them set up to scan. And again, another thing with another shot with the zoom lens a bit closer up. You can see, yeah, I think what happened was with this, when I was taking the shots, I think I got camera shake because it was a bitterly cold day and the lens was really heavy, and I was getting about 120 per second. So I think there's probably a touch of camera shaking in that as well. And again, this was taken at full zoom, and again, I think it was probably, I don't know what the shutter speed was, but it must have been low. You can see it's actually soft. It autofocused well, and yeah, I think there's just probably a bit of camera shake on there that caused that to be so soft. And looking down at the market, and I just saw the different peaches and apples and stuff, or nectarines or apples. You know what I'm like with fruit trees and plants. So yeah, so again, nice and colourful, nice drop off to the out of focus areas. I'm really pleased with it. And why do I keep on taking the shot of these? I think I should call the local council and tell them to take them down, because it was just, as I say, just testing out the different lenses. I just needed to see if they worked, and I had to check them on different apertures as well. So it's a case of like, just photograph what you can to see if the lenses work, and they clearly all did. Again, I don't know what lens that was with. It was probably the 50mm I did that with. And again, yeah, this one, camera shake again. The actual concept's nice with that in the market and in the background, but this, yeah, this isn't so good. And now I've switched over to the 24mm lens and focused on, I think it was this face here. It's not a really, this is a Sigma lens, so it's not really that sharp. I wasn't overly impressed by the actual wide angle lens, and I took 2 shots of that with a wide angle. Hence you can get all the John Howard information up there as well. And I had to take the obligatory shot of the embankment with the Swan Hotel and St Paul's Church in the distance. Again, one of the Swan Hotel by itself, but when you zoom in, you can see that's not too bad sharpness wise. That is really good. And again, the grain for this Provia is really nice. I'm going to be using some more of it. Okay, and this is my favorite shot, the one I do of the known unauthorized signs. Now I've just started an Instagram account for my film photography, and it's called pro_film photography. Okay, so if you want to go over there, you'll see this on there as well. And I've literally just launched that. So if you really want to see my stuff on there as well, please go over and have a look. And I did a few shots of studio inside. Yeah, they're not very good. I mean, they're not as good as my digital ones, but yeah, it's more fun than anything else. And if you saw the digital ones of these, you'd just see how much better they are. As I say, it was just literally messing around. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed seeing those photographs and how well they come up. Remember, this film is expired, and now the truth be known about it is actually Agfa Precisa. Now, I tried to research into this and where it come from and you know who manufactured it, and it's the Agfa photo stuff. So I'm assuming it was made by Fuji, and when I looked online it said their last lot of slide film, that the Agfa photo slide film was made by Fuji, and they believed it was the Provia F. So looking at the results we've got from the photographs I've taken, it looks just like that. They look just like Provia F. So Have I managed to get some amazing slide film for £5 instead of paying 20 quid a roll for it? I think I have. Anyway, I want to know what you think, so if you leave a comment down below, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, buy me a coffee if you can, all those things. See you in the next video.